Hello, and welcome back to Bedtime Stories with Vice Vice Baby, where we will continue the journey of Beckie and Neddie Stubtail. Story 7. Neddie and Beckie Climb a Pole. When Neddie and Beckie Stubtail, the two little bear children, had run away from home, as I told you in the story before this one, and had come to the woods where they heard the horn blowing, they did not know just what to do. "That," said Beckie, as she held her doll, Mary Ann Pudding Stick Clothespin, tightly in her arms, "that surely must be the kind man who has the trained bear with the ring in his nose. Now we are safe, and we will get many good things to eat, Neddie." "We had better take a peep before we run out from behind this bush," said Neddie, slow and careful like. "Perhaps it is some other man with the horn, trying to fool us." You know, the bear children had met in the woods. One day, a nice, kind trained bear, and with him was a man called the Professor, who led the bear around by a rope fast to a ring in the bear's nose. And the trained bear did tricks, such as turning somersaults and standing on his head, while the man collected in his hat pennies that people tossed to him. The trained bear invited Neddie to travel around with him, promising that he would have popcorn and other good things to eat. But at first, Neddie was afraid of the man with the brass horn. So, he ran home. But the more Neddie thought of it, the more he wanted to run away and become a traveling trained bear. So, he got his sister Beckie to go with him, and away they ran in the evening, leaving their home and their papa and mama, and Aunt Piffy, the fat bear lady, and Uncle Wigwag, and Mr. Whitewash, the polar bear, and all their friends. When they came to the woods and heard the brass trumpet blowing, as I've told you. "Can you see anything?" asked Beckie, as she looked over her brother's head, while he was peering through the holes in a bramble bush. "Not yet," answered Neddie. Just then came another blast of the brass trumpet, and Neddie cried, "Oh yes, there he is!" And then Beckie saw the tame bear with the ring in his nose, instead of in an ear where some ladies wear theirs. And with the tame bear was the man with the long pole. "Now, George," the man was saying, "I guess we'll go to sleep. And in the morning, we'll do some more tricks and get more pennies. Whoopla! There's your supper, George." "I guess it's time for us to run out now," said Neddie to his sister, when he heard the word supper. "Yes," said Beckie, "I guess it is." You see, it was really after supper time, and Beckie and Neddie had eaten theirs before they ran away from home. But running away makes you hungry, whether you've had supper or not, I suppose. Out ran the two bear children, and Beckie especially was very glad they had found the tame bear, for it was getting real late, and though the moon was shining brightly, still she wanted company. "Hello, what's this?" cried the man with the pole, as he saw Neddie and Beckie running towards him. "More bears! Are they going to bite me?" "Oh no," quickly answered the trained bear. "I know who they are. One of them is a friend of mine, whom I led in the woods the other day. I invited him to come with me, and I see he has brought his sister. Perhaps you would like to train them to do tricks." "Huh, I think I would," said the man. "They might do tricks very nicely with you. I'll have a regular bear family." And he pulled some pieces of dried bread out of the bag on his arm, and, taking some for himself, he gave the rest to the trained bear. "If you please," said Neddie, making a polite bow, so low that his little tail almost pointed to the sky. If you please, did we hear you mention supper? You did, answered the man. It is supper time for me and George. Rather late, it is true, but still supper time. My bear's name is George, he added. Eat your supper, George. I am eating it, said the trained bear, speaking in his own language, which the man understood, and spoke also. Not many men can speak bear language, but this one could, because his head was all bare. He was a bald-headed man, and they can mostly always speak a bear language. But what about something to eat for us? Asked Beckie. Yes, added Neddie. We're hungry. And you know, George, he said, speaking to the trained bear. You said something about popcorn and cake and lollipops. I know I did, answered the trained bear, sort of confused-like and puzzled as he ate his dry bread. But I didn't mean I had popcorn every day. I should say not, exclaimed the man, whose name was Professor. The idea! I'd soon be in the poorhouse if I gave George popcorn every day. That's only for Thanksgiving, or Christmas, or the like. But you are welcome to some dry bread. Then he gave Neddie and Beckie some bread from the bag, and the two bear children had to take it. They did not like it very much, but it was the best they could get, and they were hungry. Running away isn't as nice as staying home, whispered Beckie to her brother, after she had put her doll to sleep under some dried leaves. Oh well, it will be nice tomorrow, spoke Neddie. And anyhow, it will be Thanksgiving in a couple of days, and then we'll have plenty of good things to eat. I wonder where we will sleep, went on Beckie. I don't see any nice cave house, such as we have at home. I should say not, cried Neddie. You don't live in a house after you've run away. The idea! We'll live out of doors, and we won't have to wash our faces and paws when we don't want to. I'd never mind doing that anyhow, said Beckie, who was a very clean little bear. Well, Neddie and Beckie finished their dried bread, and they wished they had some buns, or maybe even some ice cream, for all I know. And then the man said, Well, it is not so very late, and there is a nice moon. So, I think I will see if you little new bears can do any tricks. Come now, climb that pole. And he pointed to the telephone pole growing in the woods. Oh, we can't climb that, said Neddie quickly. Why not? Asked the man with the bald head. You must climb it if you are to be trained bears. Why, the pole is too smooth and slippery, said Beckie. It has no branches sticking out to take hold of, as a tree has. Oh, that's nothing. George can climb that pole, said his master. Show him how, George. All right, Professor, said George, free and easy-like. And up the pole he went, like a jumping jack on a string. Then Neddie tried it, but he slipped back, and so did Beckie. They had not yet learned how to stick their claws in the smooth telegraph pole and hold on. I'm afraid you'll never be trick bears, said the professor. I must teach you to climb a pole. We'll try it again tomorrow. But Neddie and Beckie did not wait until next day. All of a sudden, out from under a bush came the biggest scalery alligator the bear children had ever seen. Right for Beckie and Neddie, the gator came, and Neddie cried, "Come on, Beckie, up the pole we go, and then he can't get us." "Let me go first, let me go first," cried Beckie, and Neddie did, most politely. And, before they knew it, those two bear children had climbed the smooth telegraph pole they never thought they could scale, and the gator could not get them. What do you think of that? Then, George and the professor drove the bad alligator away, not being the least bit afraid of him or his tail either, for that matter, and the man called, "You may come down now, Beckie and Neddie. At least you have learned to climb a pole, though it did take the alligator to make you. You will never forget it. Come down and go to sleep, and in the morning we will travel on." So, Beckie and Neddie came down the pole and curled up in the soft warm leaves to sleep, glad enough that they had on thick fur coats, for the weather was very cold, and soon they were safe in Bilo land. And now, if the church steeple doesn't reach up and tickle the clouds so that they giggle and let a lot of rain fall on my umbrella, I'll tell you next about Neddie doing a trick. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Bedtime Stories with Vice Vice Baby. I hope you all have a good night and sweet dreams.